So everyone's ready? Hi, Toby the Hand of Vlog, episode 1, lights, camera, action. Hi everyone and welcome to the Toby the Hand of Vlog. So after some time, I decided to make it happen, and here we are. So welcome to Volvo Cars Makati for our first vlog, and today we're here to feature the Volvo XC60. Let's go! So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Volvo Cars Philippines. Today we're here at the dealership, and special thanks to Dan.gallego for the invite because we're here to feature the Volvo XC60. This is also the first mild hybrid with the B6 engine that we'll be featuring for this vlog. Let's start with a tour with the front. So ladies and gentlemen, let's start with our front grille. So for our front grille, let's begin with our tour here, starting with the daytime running headlights. Resembles Thor's hammer, and it also has fog lights at the bottom. Now these lights, they are smart and they are adaptive. So they adapt based on the road in front of you. How your steering adjusts, it also adjusts as well. Aside from that though, whenever it detects oncoming cars facing the other way, it also lowers its light so it doesn't affect other vehicles. So from the LED lights here, now let's move to the front grille. With the front grille, for those unfamiliar, this is the R design. Now R design basically means that the front mesh is integrated with the body color of this car, which is black. So it's a black on black thing. Aside from that though, the logo does have a mix with the old and the new. How so? Take a look. This is old. This has always been constant. That diagonal line, any Volvo that you've driven, that you've seen on the road, always had that diagonal line. What's new? Well, that new logo, which is familiar to a lot of people. But the other thing about this car is that it has a front camera, which is placed right here by the logo. Now, this front camera also indicates that this car also has a 360-degree view camera. Now, quick quirk for those people who don't know. Believe it or not, Volvo, the name, does have its own meaning. It actually means I roll. Now from the front grille, let's move to the windshield. On the windshield, as you can see in the middle, we have two special items that Volvo has placed there for the driver. First of all, we have the IntelliSafety driver assistance, or IntelliSafe driver assistance. And of course, we also have the City Safety 360-degree camera, which does help you adjust for wherever you go. We're talking about lane keep assist, we're talking about lane change warning. It's all right there available at the eyes of the driver. All right, so let's start with the side profile now. Now for the side profile, Volvo does have a bit of iconic style here, but also a bit of safety going hand in hand. With the side profile here, as you can see, there's a bit of indents that does show the Volvo cage, or also what they call side impact protection systems, which basically means that you will not be harmed if you are hit from the side. The floor is also non-collapsible, so that means everything does stay intact, whatever happens. Something about Volvo though that you should know is that, see these tires? Yeah, Pirellis, that's fine. But did you know that Volvo was also one of the first, or actually Volvo was the first brand which was able to introduce disc brakes on all four wheels of their vehicles? So let's talk about the windows. Now with the windows, it's laminated, it's insulated, and it's UV protected, perfect for whenever and wherever you are driving, right? So no matter what the conditions are, you're always going to be safe with this Volvo. The car will protect you from any harshness, vibrations, or anything else that you may encounter for the road. Now more on the side mirror though. One thing about the side mirror, it's integrated with the body of the vehicle. A bit on the aerodynamics, but also a bit of added style. One of the interesting safety features with this one though, it's auto dimming, it's anti-fog, and of course it does have that detection system which does help you whenever you change lanes. Aside from that detection system though, it also does have a camera underneath so you can see things live on your infotainment system. Now let's proceed with the back of the Volvo XC60. For the Volvo XC60 at the rear, it does have that iconic taillights that everybody does know with the Volvo XC60. But aside from that though, an interesting quirk that this car does have is that at the bottom, you can't see the taillight, or you can't see the mufflers. Where are the mufflers? Well, believe it or not, this is how Volvo is trying to educate their market by going electric. Slowly but surely, Volvo does want to go electric, so the mufflers won't be needed anymore when that happens. But for this car, it does have it though, but it's hidden right underneath. So a little bit more on the lights. This is where the reverse lights are. These white little squares here at the side, and also the signal lights and the hazards are integrated here at the bottom. These are also daytime running, so you can be seen on day and on night. This is your rear view camera, very integrated with the logo, very discreet, and also you can see it's a B6 and an all-wheel drive. More in the car though, how do you open the tailgate? Well, there are 4 ways to open it. There's a button by the driver's side, there's a button underneath, and also there's a button on your key fob. And lastly, if you do have a lot of things you're carrying, you can always kick between the V and the O for 1 second. Ha. There you go, just like magic. With the boot open, all right, you can see that you do have a lot of space available for you and all of your needs. With the seats up, it's roughly 500 liters, give or take, depending on the type of luggages that you do have. And of course, it does extend to 1,500 with the seats folded down and this trunk cover taken off. Trunk cover, it's right here. As you can see, perfect to have for protection for any unwanted attention for any of your items. And of course, it is easily removable. I think it's easily removable. And this trunk cover is easily removable. So you can take it with you anywhere, wherever you go. See? And of course, it does fit properly. So again, you shouldn't have a problem if you do buy too many things from your nearest IKEA. There's also provisions for a 12-volt outlet here, and there are hooks on the side for your bags as well. All right, so let me show you where the spare tire is. So you press this button, pull it up, and this hook goes here. Why? Makes it accessible. When you do need to change your tire, here's the tire. The tools are all right here. Again, very easily accessible. Volvo did think right for the driver in case he does have any problems with this. Aside from that though, of course, your early warning device is accessible right here in the door. There's a quick latch here that you just have to turn around, and that's where the early warning device will be. From here, unhook, put it back in. All right, there is a tether. All right. There you go. Inside, press the button, close the door. Let's proceed with the interior tour. So inside the car, as you can see, it's pretty nice, elegant, minimalistic, all at the same time. Quick thing though, before I go with the car tour though, let me talk about the car keys. Now with these car keys, believe it or not, Volvo Philippines does give the driver 3 types of keys that they can be able to enjoy with their vehicles. One is your standard key. The other is a car care key. So that means whenever you send your car to the valet or to an assistant, you can give them the car care key so that they can be able to set the maximum speed for your vehicle. And lastly, there's also the sports key, which is also water resistant, perfect to use whenever you go overlanding or wherever you do need to go for sports. All right, so more on the interior now. Let's close that door for a second. Look at that door thud. Pretty solid stuff, man. All right, so inside it's elegant, it's also minimalistic, all at the same time. A lot of soft touches here, a lot of really comfortable surfaces that you can be able to enjoy. And believe it or not, this car is very eco-friendly as well. Some surfaces of this car does use recycled plastics, does use a lot of soft leather, and it's not leather anymore for Volvo, believe it or not. It's a different type of leather, specialty leather, which is basically more eco-friendly, more sustainable, and a lot better for the environment. So starting with the center console, everything is integrated here and effective and efficient all at the same time. Your engine start-stop button is right here, right beside the gear lever. Now, cup holders are available once you slide this surface away. There's space for 2, and also there's a space for where you can place your car key right there. 12-volt socket is available also here as well for your other electric needs, and there's another compartment here for where you can place your other cards or other needs that you may have. Now, the parking brake is available here. Push down to engage, pull up to disengage, and there's also a brake hold, which is very helpful whenever you're stuck in traffic. Now let's proceed with the center console. So this is your infotainment system. It does connect to a Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which is very perfect for this car. Now, the infotainment system, for its hardware, this was co-developed with Apple, but the software now is redeveloped with the Android operating system. So if you have an Android phone, just make sure you have your Android mobile and connect it to your phone, and basically it's like having one big cell phone on your car. Swipe down to see all of your other needs. It's all right there, and of course, right here at the middle, all right, when you press the button here in the middle, it brings you back to the home screen. You can see all of your other settings here as well. Your aircon settings is also down below, shows everything right here as well as that clean zone that they all talk about, making sure that you always have clean air wherever and whenever you go. All right. More on that though, aside from that, of course, inside you basically have all of your needs available right here at the touchscreen, and it does have infrared features on it, meaning that you don't just need your hand to be able to touch it as well. You can also use your gloves. You can also use other light surfaces to be able to touch this as well. All right. So again, car status, it's also right here as well. So you can see how your tire pressure is. You can also see if you do need an oil change. It's all here available for everybody. Some of these details we'll be talking about when we take this car on a test drive. So for the Volvo steering wheel, it's stylish, ergonomic, efficient, all at the same time. It's all right here. On your left side, a lot of your driver aids are here as well. And of course, on your right side, it's all for your infotainment system. So before we go to the back seat, let's just point out a few more things here at the front seats. For the front seat, it's really driver friendly. All right, this car does have 14-way adjustable seats, which are enjoyable, especially when you do take those long drives. And now with the 14-way adjustable seats, another thing it has is this thing called driver profile. Now, what's driver profile, if you may ask? Driver profile is basically you as the driver owning this car, lending your car to somebody else. That somebody else borrows your car, right? Now, when the car comes back to you, you don't have to press anything, but the car basically remembers your preferred settings for your seats. And for a guy like me, I'm 6 feet tall, the lumbar support does help, and the leg extensions, and that's something I can never forget whenever I take drives with the Volvo XC60. So welcome to the back seat of the Volvo XC60. Here in the back seat, the chairs are fixed, all right? So you can't recline them anymore, all right? You can't lie them down. But the thing is, though, you don't have to worry about that because look at me. I'm 6 feet tall. The driver's seat is adjusted based on my preferred driving position. And as you can see, I have a lot of legroom. A lot of legroom, a lot of footroom, and a lot of headroom, even with the sunroof. So absolutely, it's an absolutely enjoyable experience while you're here as well. Now, aside from that, though, as a passenger, you can also enjoy the air vents that are available here as well. You can adjust your air control through these touchscreens, which are available right here as well. Now, aside from the air vents, you also have your Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which you can be able to enjoy as you see the views of wherever you're going. Views can be seen on your side mirrors, also on that panoramic sunroof that I did talk about earlier. Aside from that, we also have a center console that you and your seatmate can be able to enjoy. And guess what? This one has cup holders. So from these cup holders, of course, if you fold these seats up, you do have an extra seat here that you could be able to enjoy, but mostly for short trips because you have to look out for that transmission tunnel there. Now, if you're traveling with kids, this car is really, really safe for these kids. Fixed ISOFIX tethers for the babies, so easy to put in those baby baskets. But if you have toddlers who want forward-facing seats, don't worry. All you gotta do is pull this lever here, and there's a jump seat for them there. The jump seat does help, especially when they put on the seatbelt, because the seatbelt will not go on their face when they do take a seat here. Now, of course, if the babies are at daycare and you got to put the chair back to normal, all you got to do is pull this lever back and you're back to your normal seating position. So ladies and gentlemen, we're officially done with the tour inside the dealership. Now it's time to take the car outside and on the road. If earlier we used the Onyx Black Volvo, now it's time for us to take the Silver Dawn out for a spin. In addition, Volvo does have also a white pearl as well as metallic gray, which is available for you at the dealership. So, keys are with me, shades are on, let's go. So the steering feel of the Volvo XC60, it feels very, very light, very responsive, even at low and at high speed. It's absolutely comfortable to enjoy. And it's so nice to see all of the buttons right here accessible for you. And one of the things I'm really curious to try out is the pilot assist. All you gotta do is press a button right here, and then the car will automatically look for a lane and it'll do the driving for you mostly, right? You don't really need to use the pedals too much, although if I recall properly, you still need to keep both your hands on the steering wheel just to be attentive, just in case anything else happens. More on the things for added driving convenience, there's a heads-up display which you can see. I'm wearing shades right now, but I can still properly see that heads-up display, and it's absolutely helpful. All right, so it reminds you to drive safely, to follow all the road conditions, and to always be responsible behind the wheel. One of the nice things about driving a Volvo as well, particularly the B6 trim, is that it's really, really quiet inside. The only thing you can actually hear is the air conditioning. A bit of road noise, but not so obvious. It's still something for you to absolutely enjoy. Would this be a Sunday car? Absolutely. But if you ask me, I would make this a Monday car, a Tuesday car, a Wednesday car, maybe Thursday, probably Friday, and of course a Saturday and a Sunday. So while we were driving, yeah, I had to coast to get to the stoplight. And one of the things I noticed is the car all of a sudden got quiet. Now, what gives? It's a stop-start function. Really intriguing. Really nice to have. And it feels so refined. Come to think of it, it feels so refined. I didn't really feel the car stop right away or the engine cut out. But right now, as we're on a stoplight, the engine's not running. It's only the air conditioning actually. And maybe if I had the radio on, it would be on as well. But this is really intriguing because this does help with the fuel economy. One of the downsides about a stop-start function is that, well, obviously if you're stuck in traffic, your engine will be off just a little bit too long. But the other thing is that it does get a little hotter, but nevertheless, your fuel economy does go for the good, even with this. All right, green light, let's go. All right, so driving around. Now, the thing is though, sometimes when you're in the city, you do get stuck in tight spaces. One of the good things about having the Volvo XC60 is that this thing has a 360-degree camera, which is easily accessible for whenever you're driving. Case in point, I'm driving right now. I want to see something closer. I want to get a better view. All I got to do is press this button here, and you can be able to access the 360 camera. Where's the button? Dan, there you go. So yeah, there you go. There's your front camera. Now, you can also press other buttons to be able to see all the other angles so that you could be able to see all the other views. All right, now I got to slow down, okay, which does help anyway. And then, slow down. There you go. And there's your 360. Helps a lot so that you could be able to see your blind spots properly and so that you don't have a tough time maneuvering, especially when you're in tight spaces. So that's one of the cool things about the Volvo XC60 is that there's a bit of, I guess it's the driver assist all in motion, but it kind of notices how you drive, and it'll detect if you actually do need to use the 360 camera. Earlier while I was driving, I had a tough time getting a hold of it because I was traveling at speed. And that, the car could tell that I really didn't need to maneuver anywhere else because basically it was just a straight line. But now I'm going to be slowing down again. I'm going to be approaching an intersection, and the icon to be able to access the 360 camera already shows. And there it is. Once you click, make a right turn signal, and it's going to show. Oops. Did it show? Oh, there you go. Press the button, and as you can see, it's all right there. So right now I'm driving through BGC. I'm speeding up a bit because I activated dynamic mode. All right, now dynamic mode, basically it's like sports mode for the vehicle. It feels a little bit more engaging. All right, the steering does become just a little bit more firm. One of the nice things about Volvo though is that it's still comfortable even at high speeds, even when your sport mode is activated. There's barely a difference, but it's still enjoyable. We're going to be hitting a public road soon, and I'm going to be able to test how fast this car can fly. I actually put this thing on dynamic mode, so I am really, really curious. How does this go? All right, so I'm going to cross the intersection. All right, eyes on the road, keeping it safe. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, let's fly. You feel that? My gosh. Everything got responsive in an instant right there. Never felt so alive, man. Can I trade my car for this now? But anyways, yeah, that's what dynamic mode does feel like. It's really there. It's really dynamic, and everything is so responsive. The minute you want power, it just comes in, and the steering gets firm right away. And that's what you want when you're traveling at speed. You want something planted because when you're traveling at speeds that are not with a steering wheel that's wobbly, that's another problem. Again, you want stability when you're going at high speed. So really, dynamic mode, it's comfortable, but it's also firm. Perfect to have. So yeah, we're traversing through the city. And really one of the big things that stick out for me is just how responsive the brake is for the Volvo. It sees an obstacle, it reminds you, all right? But it reminds you in ways that are obvious and in ways that are subtle. One of the subtle ways is how the brake feels. When you're braking from far away, it's not as hard. It's soft. But as you get closer, the brake gets harder and harder, just giving you that extra power for you to stop, so that you could be able to avoid any obstacles or being in any danger whatsoever while you are driving. Give you that added feeling of confidence whenever you're going with the XC60. One of the things I like about driving this car though, aside from how it feels to drive though, is I like how it looks actually. I like how elegant and minimalist it is at the same time. It feels like you're actually driving an IKEA store. There you go. It feels like driving an IKEA store. I like how the design is of the interior of the chairs. And it's really comfortable whenever you're driving the Volvo. I don't think you're expected to do a track record on this. All right, like 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. You could do it, but it's a lot of work. But the thing is, though, with Volvo, it's all about safety, and with safety, comfort. Those two things go hand in hand, and it's absolutely wonderful to have. It's a wonderful experience to have, and this is why my theory is that I think you could drive a Volvo every day. So one of the refreshing things about driving the Volvo XC60 is that aside from the added comfort and convenience of the visibility and everything else, one of the things I like about this car is the panoramic sunroof, right? You can go anywhere you want and enjoy the scenes of nature, whether you're in the city or you're out of town. Perfect to have this with you, all right? It's sunny outside, a little cloudy, but take a look at this, man. Look at the views you have, and that's what happens when you have the panoramic sunroof. So ladies and gentlemen, as we're enjoying the Volvo XC60, let me take a quick stop and show you what's under the hood of this SUV. Take a look at what we have here. Camera, load the B-roll.
The Volvo XC60 B6 all-wheel drive R-Design mild hybrid is powered by a 2-liter inline-4 gas engine with a 48-volt hybrid system. This produces 295 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. No need to charge the batteries when it comes to activating the mild hybrid system, as the car does this automatically through its regenerative braking feature. And because of this, the fuel economy is a win. As experts say, the Volvo XC60 B6 all-wheel drive mild hybrid is projected to reach 8.9 kilometers per liter in the city and 11.9 kilometers per liter in the highway.
So for after-sales service, Volvo Philippines is committed to give every customer the top-of-the-line experience. You do have a lot of value for whatever you're paying for, and it does only take 7 to 10 days for them to be able to get you the parts you need for your vehicle. Again, thank you very much to Dan for allowing me to be able to experience the Volvo XC60 today and to also be able to know the Volvo brand. One more thing about the Volvo brand, for warranty and services, all right, it's 3 years warranty and unlimited mileage. So again, every Volvo driver or every Volvo customer does have a lot of bang for their buck. Once again, thank you very much to Dan. If you want to get a hold of Dan, you may check his contact number, which I'll be flashing right here, so that you could be able to get a hold of him. So ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this vlog, what could I say about Volvo? Volvo's brand, well, it's a car that's known for its reliability. It's a car known for its elegance, and it's a car that's known for its refinement. Very safe and very easy to drive. I wouldn't take this car in the racetrack, but where I would take this car is the golf course, the office, maybe the country club, maybe a date night, maybe a road trip with family. It's perfect for the lifestyle, and really, that's something that you can enjoy. For reliability, remember this. There's a lot of very influential people who do drive Volvos. The car with the highest mileage clocked in 3 million miles in a Volvo P1800. Aside from that, the 8th richest person in the world, the late Ingvar Kamprad, who was the founder of IKEA, used to drive a 1993 Volvo 240 GL throughout his life. So really, reliability does go a long way with this car. And of course, when it comes to safety, Volvo is a pioneer indeed. And with that, again, thank you very much to Volvo Philippines for inviting me over. It has been a wonderful time being able to vlog and being able to be a part and making this happen. Again, thank you very much, Dan, for the invite. Once again, this has been the Topitiana vlog. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you for the next vlog.